Welcome to my channel. Imagine standing on a boat in the icy waters off the southern coast of Iceland, and suddenly, right in front of your eyes, land begins to rise from the sea. Not metaphorically, literally. Smoke, fire, and ash shoot into the sky. Boiling water explodes upward, and within days, something exists that wasn't there before. An island. Not a legend, not a metaphor. A brand new island, forged by volcanic fury in real time. That island is called Surtsey, and unless you're part of a very tiny group of scientists, you're never going to see it in person. Surtsey was born on November 14, 1963, when a volcanic eruption broke through the ocean floor about 130 meters below the surface. What started as smoke on the horizon turned into a full-scale geological event. Lava, ash, and steam exploded out of the sea for nearly 4 years. By the time the eruption ended in June 1967, an entirely new landmass had risen from the North Atlantic. It was named after Surtur, the fire giant from Norse mythology, and the name couldn't be more fitting. This was raw, primal Earth, emerging from the depths. Now, you might be thinking, that's incredible. But why is it forbidden? Here's where it gets really fascinating. The moment scientists realized what was happening, they understood this wasn't just a geological marvel. It was a once-in-a-lifetime scientific opportunity. They had a clean slate, a completely new piece of Earth with no human interference. So they made a decision. Surtsey would become a living laboratory, a place where researchers could study how life begins. No tourists, no picnics, no footprints. Since 1965, Surtsey has been one of the most strictly protected natural environments on the planet. Only a very small number of scientists are allowed to set foot there, and when they do, the rules are intense. No outside food, no non-native materials, no foreign bacteria. Everything is checked. Clothing, equipment, even boots. Because even a single seed stuck to a sock could change the outcome of this great natural experiment. And what an experiment it is. Researchers have watched life unfold from the very beginning. First came the bacteria and fungi. Then mosses, lichens, and the hardiest of vascular plants. Seeds carried by wind, sea currents, or dropped in bird droppings began to root. Insects showed up. Birds began nesting. Seals hauled themselves onto the new beaches. Even orcas were seen in the surrounding waters. Nature found its way to a place humans had chosen not to touch. But human influence is hard to keep out. In the 1970s, a tomato plant was found growing on Surtsey. That may not sound dramatic until you realize it was an invasive species. It hadn't floated there on the tide. It had grown from a seed deposited by human feces. A researcher had used the bathroom outdoors. That tomato plant was promptly removed, because even one human misstep could throw off the entire experiment. Since then, the precautions have become even more intense. Scientists now undergo rigorous preparation before visiting. They sleep on nearby islands, bring sterilized tools, and are instructed to leave absolutely no trace. The goal is simple: allow nature to evolve without us. And in doing so, let it teach us something about the origin of ecosystems, how Earth, left to its own devices, heals, builds, and sustains itself. Over the decades, Surtsey has become a symbol of scientific purity. The island is now home to over 70 plant species, a dozen nesting bird species, and more than 300 invertebrates. And those numbers continue to grow. Everything there has arrived naturally, without any assistance, which is what makes it such an invaluable resource for ecologists, biologists, and climate scientists. It's also a place that challenges our impulse to conquer, to document, to leave our mark. In the age of satellites and selfies, Surtsey reminds us that some places are more valuable when they remain untouched, when we simply observe without interfering. Surtsey has continued to change. The island has shrunk over time due to erosion, but it still stands as a stark black and green monument to Earth's power and patience. In 2008, it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and Iceland continues to protect it with almost spiritual devotion. This isn't just about science, it's about respect. In a world where we build on everything, photograph everything, and trample through even the most sacred places for likes and selfies, Surtsey is a reminder of what happens when we choose not to interfere. It's not forbidden because it's dangerous. It's forbidden because it's pure. Because it shows us what the Earth looks like when it starts from zero. It's a story of creation, not in the mythical sense, but in the biological, ecological, and deeply natural sense. So no, you can't visit. But maybe that's the point. Surtsey wasn't made for us. It was made by the Earth, for the Earth. And maybe, just maybe, that makes it even more beautiful. If stories like this spark your curiosity, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because there are still places out there where nature writes the script, and we're just lucky enough to read it from afar.